Mookie, 6 scoreless innings, 10 strikeouts, 3 home runs. What can you say about what Shohei Ohtani did tonight?
I said it yesterday. I mean, it's like we're kind of like the Bulls, and he's Michael Jordan. So he took it over for us, and what a time to show up.
He had been struggling so bad offensively. Obviously, it became a big story what he hadn't been doing on offense. Did you see a night like this coming?
I mean, a night like this is possible anytime with Shohei. So, I mean, he still affected the game in other ways, getting some stakes and drawing a couple walks and whatnot. But I mean, you know, it's Shohei. You know, he just showed why he's the best player.
Mookie, it's not easy to get here. You guys are going back to the World Series and doing it in emphatic fashion, 9-1 in the playoffs. What does it mean to be where you're at right now?
It's special, but we got to flush it all. Get a little time to rest up. We're all old, so we need a little rest period, and we'll be ready to go next week.
Congratulations, Mookie.
Front and center. And Jess, just your thoughts on what we saw from Shohei Ohtani tonight.
I mean, can we have the reaction that you saw like every Dodger player have? Because that's exactly what I was doing. And, you know, it's crazy. I cover the Dodgers. I'm in LA all the time. You know, you see Shohei, and it's never a surprise, right? You're always like, oh my gosh, this is Shohei being Shohei. This was a whole nother level. And I mean, to be honest, he's had one postseason game where we've ever seen him pitch and hit. But the fact that he's coming in a clinching game, he'll take the team to the World Series, 10 Ks. When he hit that third home run, I mean, it's like, you're not human. We've never seen anything like it. It's absolutely insane. And I'm talking about someone who's been watching him all year long.
You know, it felt a little, you're not old enough to remember this, but the Reggie Jackson third home run against the Dodgers in the World Series, it kind of had that kind of feel, like I can't believe what we're seeing right now. And I know you love to look at a guy's swing, and he had not been swinging the bat particularly well, 3 for 29 coming into this game. What did he iron out? Because he certainly fixed it in a hurry.
You know, it's interesting because, you know, we've been talking about all week on Get Up is just the fact that he's flying that front side and just how much teams, and it started with the Phillies, by the way, they've been tacking him inside. And because of that, his front side had been flying, and then he was flying so many different pitches. I really believe, David, because the fact that he was pitching, it was like everything got brought down a notch. And this is what's ironic. When he hit that first home run, I was going, that was like almost like a 80-85% swing. Yes, I know this is mind-blowing, and he's hitting the ball out of the park. But it's like he just toned it down because he had to. Because I've been around him in games that he's pitching. He's not sitting there watching film. He's not sitting there thinking about his swing, going and taking hacks in the cages. All he's doing is thinking about pitching. So you eliminate all the things that he had. And that, to me, it was like he lessened the concentration on his swing, and that front side finally stood in there. 3 home runs. It was unbelievable.
Yes, and then you go to what he did on the mound, and Dave Roberts has been sort of taking it easy with him, working him along, nursing him through the season, trying to build up his pitch count. And then he goes 100 pitches today, and the Brewers just could not touch him. What did you see from him on the hill?
You know, I saw him really being able to mix up his pitches because, you know, when Shohei Ohtani is going right, obviously you get excited about the fastball that can hit 100, the breaking balls off of that. But to me, it was his unpredictability. And we've seen this starting rotation be ridiculous. But when you look at his idea of being able to hit his spots, but then also the Brewers chasing off the plate. And once he saw that he could expand the zone, that's when he really started locking into me. Because early in the game, you know, he knew the pitch count was going to be an issue. He wanted to stay in this game. It's a conversation he had with Dave Roberts, something that he's been pushing towards. Because people forget, he was throwing max of 4 innings, then a max of 5 innings. He threw 1 6-inning game before the postseason even got here. You're thinking, what are you going to get from this guy? He made an effort to make sure and say, hey, I want to be able to go as deep as possible. You saw it early, but once the chase started kicking in, it was like he just knew he could expand that zone and use all his pitches.
An absolutely singular performance tonight by Shohei Ohtani. And this Dodgers team, I mean, go back before the season, everyone knew this was going to be this scary outfit. They had all this talent. And then kind of the season started, and maybe they didn't quite play up to those expectations. But since then, they've won 14 of their last 15. What are you seeing of the team as a whole right now, Jess?
It's a combination of things. Because honestly, I mean, when you look back over the course of this season, and I was actually just talking to a bunch of people about this, because people forget how many injuries they did have in their starting rotation and how awful, to be honest, the team really was piecing together starts, and they were going just bullpen games at one point in the season, because all the dudes you see right now that are healthy, that make up this staff, were not a part of this team for a bulk of the season. That's what's so ironic. So they all get healthy near the end, right? As far as a collective group. But specifically what I'm seeing is a pressureless ease, that it's like once they got out of the regular season and they didn't have the best record. And honestly, they weren't even like within the division. It was like they didn't even put the Padres away early like you thought they were going to do. And so you saw more pressure. To me, I had their last 2 weeks of the season. Then they get to the postseason. They're like, okay, now it's what we do. The depth of their lineup, David, is what stands out to me, because before it was like, remember Mookie, 2 months could not hit a baseball.
Yeah.
And he was able to figure it out at the end of the season. And now you're seeing even Shohei Ohtani. Everyone's going to forget how much he struggled early on in this postseason because they had so many other guys put it together.
It is an awesome lineup and an awesome rotation right now, and it's a scary bunch if you're either the Mariners or the Blue Jays, and they're fighting over there in the ALCS. Jess Mendoza giving us her thoughts as the Dodgers move into the World Series once again. All right, back here with Xavier Scruggs. Let's talk about this. They've got a week now before Game 1 of the World Series.
Right.
Is that an advantage for them? I mean, they haven't had to use a lot of parts so far, getting 4 games here.
I think the one thing, and Jess kind of mentioned it too, is just the health of this team is important, right? So I think even the time off doesn't quite kill their momentum. If anything, it helps them ultimately continue to stay healthy. We talked about Shohei Ohtani being healthy at the biggest part of the season. I think the same thing goes for Snell, Yamamoto as well. Don't forget Hiroki Sasaki, who has now turned into the closer of this Dodgers team, was hurt for a good portion of the season as well. So I think, and now having him go back-to-back days, those things help you ultimately get rejuvenated, get refreshed going into this next series. And honestly, David, nothing seems to be stopping them. I don't think a couple of days is going to stop this Dodgers team from continuing to play at upper echelon in every single facet of the game.
How much of the Dodgers game were you able to watch, and just your feelings on what we saw from Ohtani?
Well, with the technology, we were able to see the whole thing, and I'm telling you, David, it's really impressive what Shohei Ohtani's been able to do, because a lot of people were concerned with him with the first 3 games offensively, and it seemed like he let the other guys, the pitchers in this, be able to do their thing, and then he said, "Okay, boys, I want to show you what I can do as well. I can throw 6 shutout innings. I can also go deep not once, twice, but 3 times, and have a flair for the dramatic." And the 3rd time was really cool, just because he had a 1-2 count, and he was able to then capitalize huge on that 1-2 count, hit it right up the middle. But he was dominant. He was dominant with his breaking stuff. He was dominant with his fastball. He was dominant with his splitter as well. He features so many pitches that it's just very confusing for a hitter to be able to try to zero in not only on a pitch, but on a zone. And that's what made it really hard. And let me tell you something, the Milwaukee Brewers are a really good team. They have the best record in all of baseball. And he made them look like a B team. And that right there says a lot.
Yeah, they just could not touch him. It was just so many swing and misses from Ohtani in against that Brewers lineup. If you back out here a little, Eddie, and I don't want to turn you into a baseball historian like Tim Kirchner or something, but is there anything to compare to what we saw in the postseason from Shohei Ohtani tonight?
No, not today. Not even John Williams that they're calling on the PA here behind me. You can't. Look, he is some kind of special. And I received so many text messages from former major leaguers just telling me, look, man, this guy's ridiculous. This guy's doing things that are just unheard of. A leadoff home run after putting up a 0 and facing 4 hitters in the top half of the 4th inning. Then he walks. Then he hits another home run. Then he strikes out guys. It is different. And they built it up. If you look at it, he didn't pitch at all last year. This is a completely different Dodger team, a different staff. It is built around starting pitching. It is built around experience. And what he is able to do out there Even the Hall of Famers, the future Hall of Famers, Mookie Betts, you look at Freddie Freeman, Clayton Kershaw, they haven't seen anything like it. And not only that, they name him the MVP of the series. And let's not forget what Blake Snell was able to do, Yamamoto, what he was able to do. And it doesn't matter. Glasnow yesterday, this guy's at a different level. And because he's at a different level, we're all in awe of it. By the way, I'm also hanging out with Tim Kirchin. I left him over there in the big club, but he was just throwing out stat after stat, history after history, and it's awesome, David.
Go run over and get Timmy and have him come on back, and we'll talk to him. We'll talk to anybody at this point, Eduardo. It's just such an amazing night in baseball. Thanks for dialing in from the airport.
You got it. Appreciate you.
All right. And now we got Doug Glanville, who's there at the game. Doug, your turn to pipe in. Can you hear me? What do you think of Ohtani tonight?
I can hear you. I mean, the only adjective to describe Shohei Ohtani is if you use his own name. I mean, it's Ohtanic. That's all you could say. Because, I mean, how do you describe someone who's able to do everything he just did tonight? I mean, you'd say, like, with all the Hollywood producers around here, you'd say it's like based on a true story. I mean, this guy just hit 3 home runs in a clinch game at the NLCS against a team that won 97 games, by the way, and then struck out 10 batters and shut out over 6 innings. I mean, who does that? And then, by the way, he hit a ball out of the stadium on top of that.
Yeah.
I mean, so everything he does raises the bar of what's possible in baseball, and it seems to be singular in the one that who can actually accomplish it. But to be that good against a great Brewers team and to shut them down and then single-handedly beat them by himself, I mean, it's just remarkable. And every time he does something, your jaw drops. You're trying to call the game, but you're also like, what am I looking at right now?
By the way, I'm going to steal that one, Ohtanic, because you know what it reminds me of? Ruthian, right? That Ruthian is a term we use in baseball for somebody who does something so outlandish you can't compare it to anything. And these two guys are sort of, at times, they're in the same paragraph, are they not?
Yeah, I mean, it's you think about Ruth and Ohtani, but the fact that he's pitching at this level and also the power game, he has 3 MVP trophies already on top of this. I mean, so the performance is there. And the thing is, when he was playing with the Angels, he didn't make the postseason. So you kind of feel like you were deprived of him being able to show what he could do on this stage. And now the world knows very clearly what this guy can do. And if you pitch the script to a producer, they wouldn't believe you to say this is actually a true story. This guy went 50-50 last year. 50-50, 50 home runs, more than 50 stolen bases. And he did it in a game that he went 6 for 6 with 3 home runs and 2 stolen bases. I mean, come on. So now he's doing it in the postseason. And, you know, you just sit there and your jaw drops. But the only word to describe him is his own name. I mean, he is Ohtanic, and we'll see where he goes from here. But right now, he just literally won the NLCS, and he dominated on both sides of the ball. It's just jaw-dropping.
Pat Murphy, please raise your hands for questions. Whew. Start with Paul here.
Murph, obviously not the ending you wanted. I mean, what'd you say to the guys in there just about the season as a whole here?
I mean, we've talked about being an inch from the top and an inch from the bottom. And, you know, we faced a really, really talented team that played really, really good. We were part of tonight an iconic, you know, maybe the best individual performance ever in a postseason game. I don't think anybody can argue with that. Guy punches out 10 and hits 3 homers. I'm really proud of our team. I admire our team. Enough has been said. The narrative has been said many times, but you know, it came to an end tonight to a team that is not only talented, played great.
And we've talked a lot about the pitching, and you just mentioned how many pitching performances they had in this series. What'd you make of your offense? Was it their pitching? Was it a little bit of everything? Just what'd you see from the offense over the 4 games?
Well, since the beginning of time in baseball, when you have dominant pitching on the mound, throwing 98 to 100 every guy, and with tremendous off-speed pitches, the command they showed Will Smith deserves a ton of credit. Yeah, I said it was dominant pitching. If you want to say our offense, I think most offenses would struggle, you know.
Go here in the front row, Sophia.
Murph, when you think about this team and, some of the performances you got from the young guys, right? Guys like Chad and Miz and Caleb. What do you want them to take away from this season and the experience of the DS and playing against a team like the Dodgers?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great experience, but that's where you got to go. That's why the little things matter. That's all the things we harp on matter, because we don't have as big a margin of error when your team is not filled with the same amount of talent. So we learn a lot from it. We had a lot of young players. You mentioned Durbin, Churrio's in his second year. He looked pretty comfortable the whole series. So it's, a lot of good things. Chad Patrick, Miz, a lot of guys stepped up. So excited about that for them. They have experienced this. They've seen it firsthand. They know how precious it is. You lead the league in wins, and you do some great things for the franchise, but still, there's work to be done. So the emotional series in the Cubs is, you guys have to know the Brewers-Cubs thing well. You have to have been part of it to understand how it really zapped a lot out of us emotionally, and then to have to come back and play right away. I think, and then we lose a one-run game, and it just takes us off us. It took us off it a little bit, and then the pitching performances by the Dodgers, basically put the hammer down.
Questions? Back here to Paul.
Murph, not a lot of free agents. I mean, this is pretty much the team you could run back with next year. How do you feel about that, and how much are you looking forward to getting another shot at it with largely the same group?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. You say that, but that's not just how it always works. But right now, we just have to sit back and look at our health and make sure guys are getting healthy. Guys that need off-season procedures and things to get done can stay healthy. We give them a plan of attack going forward. And I love the guys. I love what they bring to the table. I love their possibilities going forward. But like every year, we'll look a little different for sure.
Any more questions for Pat? All right, Pat, thank you for coming in, and congratulations on a great season.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Shohei, a lot have been made about your performances offensively this postseason. Coming into tonight, with you starting, did you want to make a statement in this game tonight?
今回のパフォーマンス、シーズンで結構いろいろと世間で話題になってましたけども、今回登板する中、一つなんか大活躍をするっていうことを意識してましたか？
一番はやっぱり今日は登板の日なので、しっかりと先発ピッチャーの役割をまず一つこなしたいなという気持ちで入りましたし、オフェンス面も集中はしてましたけども、なんですか、左が打てる日は右が苦戦する日も多いですし、僕ら左バッターが打てない日は右バッターがしっかりと仕事をしてくれるっていう日が多いと思うので、そういうなんていうんですかね、チームとしてのバランスがやっぱり大事なのかなとは思ってます。
Now, I really focused on, first and foremost, as a starting pitcher, to make sure I'm an effective starting pitcher. On the hitting side, just looking at the whole entire team, we'll see that at times the right-handed hitters picked us up, and on the flip side, sometimes the left-handed hitters picked us up. So I think in a sense, we're just trying to find the right balance.
Let's go to Bill straight back in the middle.
Yes, Shohei, Andrew and a lot of your teammates are calling this the greatest postseason game ever played. What do you think?
アンドリーさんとかムーキーが最高なポストシーズンの試合だったと語ってましたけども、翔平はどう思ってますか？
そうです。今日この試合以外はやっぱり僕も苦戦してましたし、逆に言えばさっきも言いましたけど、僕が打てない時、ムーキー手をその他の右バッター含めて全員がカバーしてくれる試合が多かったと思うので、こういう日はね、逆に打てない人が出る時にしっかり自分が打ったり、またはしっかりと 打線が苦しい時に先発ピッチャーがしっかり抑える、そういうカバーの試合っていうのが大事だと思うので、今日の試合はそれがよく僕の役割の中で発揮されてたのかなとは思っています。
As I stated before, there were at times during the postseason where Teo and Mookie, picked me up, and this time around it was my turn to be able to perform. And I think just looking back over the course of the entire postseason, I haven't performed to the expectation, but I think today we saw what the left-handed hitters could do.
JP on the left.
Typically, you are at your best as a hitter on the days that you don't pitch. This was one of your best hitting performances ever. I'm wondering if you made any mental adjustments or adjustments to your preparation as a hitter prior to this game.
登板日はあまり打てないっていう結構そうなってますけども、今日は何かメカニクス的に調整したこととかありますか？
どうなんですかね、ここ数日いい感覚では打ててるなとは思ってますけど、そもそもサンプルサイズがやっぱ投げてる試合っていうのは少ないので、なんていうんですかね、数字の偏りが少し出やすいのかなとは思うので、それが悪い方向に出てたのかなという印象は受けてるかなと思います。
I felt like the last couple days I felt pretty good at the plate, and just because of the postseason, the sample size, the lack of, it's just that I think the lack of performance really skews in this short period of time. So
we're going to do two more in English up here in the front and then back to Paul on the left side.
Pitching wise, what was working well for you tonight?
投手として今日何が良かったですかと。
そうですね、ブルワーズ打線、ここ僕が投げる前もしっかりと先発ピッチャー含めて抑えてはいましたけど、やっぱり素晴らしい打線だと思うので、一人一人が目的を持って打席の中で力を発揮してくる打線だとは思ってますし、その中で自分がいいゲームプランを持って、キャッチャーのウィルとしっかりと合わせていけたのが良かったのかなと思っています。
The last several days we did a pretty good job as a starting pitcher, being able to get outs and be effective. And just looking at the entire lineup, my impression that I had was that it's a very tough, effective lineup. So talking with Will Smith, we had a pretty good game plan going into the game, and we were able to execute it.
And Paul, back left.
With the sweep, you guys have a week off now before the World Series. Do you think having the bye last year will help you with that? And how do you think the team will handle having so much time off?
1週間ワールドシーズンに向けて空きますけども、去年ちょっとバイウィークがあって、それが今回活用されるのかと、それでチームがどうこういう1週間ない中対応するのかと。
休みを挟めるというのはすごくいいことだと思いますし、ピッチャーもそうですし、野手もここまで、休みも挟んでますけど、やっぱり1試合の重みが違うと思うので、みんな疲労が溜まってるんじゃないかなとは思いますし、その中でゲームがない中でいかに実践の感覚を養っていくかというのもまた課題だとは思うので、そこが難しいのかなと思っています。
I do see it as a positive in terms of being able to rest both as a position player and as a pitcher. We've had some off days, but we played some very meaningful games that were very stressful. And as you've stated, I think it's going to be really important for us to be able to have that kind of game edge, and to be able to maintain it throughout this week.
Okay, let's go to Japanese. We have two questions in the second row on the right.
お願いします。2日前に屋外で振り打撃されてたと思うんですけど、なんで入ろうかなと思ったのかっていうのと、それを経て自分の体とか打撃の感覚でちょっと変わったものがあったりすればお願いします。
一番は試したいことが何個かあったので、それをやっぱケージでは分からないことですし、フィールドで打ったときにそれが正しいのかどうなのかっていうその確認の作業をしたいなと思ったので、やりました。
It's going to go fourth row in the middle. Go ahead. Yep.
お疲れ様です。ピッチングの方なんですけども、今日前回と同様に2巡目までスプリットを置いといて、先ほどゲームプランという話もありましたけど、今日投球のその配球としてはかなりプラン通りにできたのか、それとも試合の中で感じた部分をしっかり対応できたのか、その辺どうでしたか？
どちらもあるとは思いますね。プラン通りできた部分と、あとは思ったよりも 相手の打線のアプローチの仕方が自分が思ってたのとまた少し違うバッターがいたりとか、そこはあと肌感で感じた通りに、イニングが終わった後にコミュニケーションを取って、これはこうしよう、これはこうしようという感じで変えていきました。
Second row.
よろしくお願いします。おめでとうございます。ここまでの7試合とか昨日までの7試合地区シリーズ以降、ヒット3本、それから三振が14で、とはいえ結果は出てないけど紙一重の打席が自分の中ではあったのか、それともそこまではいってないけどもどっかの打席で構え方がやっと落ち着いたかな、見え方がこれでいいかなっていうのはどっかそういう打席があったりしたんですか？いかがですかそれは。
すごい感覚がいいなっていう感覚では、シーズン中も言ったと思うんですけど、今シーズンはあんまりなかったとは思うので、そのままポストシーズンに入って、確かに惜しい当たりみたいなのはありましたけど、やっぱりいい時っていうのは必ずしもいいアプローチだけがヒットになるわけではないと思うので、昨日みたいに崩された打席の中でああいうふうにいいところにライン際に残ってくれたりとかっていうのはやっぱり自分がいい形で待てているからなのかなとは思うので、それも含めてさっきも言いましたけど外のバッティング練習試したいなと思ってやってましたね。
Let's go second row on the left right here.
大谷選手、監督が大谷選手はもう驚くことが当たり前だから驚かないと思っていたけどやっぱり驚いたと今日のパフォーマンスのことを言っていたんですけども、大谷選手自身が自分に驚くことってありますか？
今日の試合の中ではちょっと、まだなんていうんですか、振り返りができてないので、3本打ちましたけどどちらかというとやっぱりそのディフェンス面でのマウンドでのパフォーマンスを重視して試合の中には入ってはいるので、これからまた見返していいとこ悪いところを探したいなとは思ってますし、全体的にはできすぎだったのかなとは思ってます。
Let's go Nobu, fourth row on the right.
おめでとうございます。今できすぎという話でしたけれども、そういう意味では投打両方で出場した試合で今までの中で今日の試合っていうのは、3本ホームランっていうのが分かりやすい結果ではあるんですけども、自分の中ではトップランク付けというかね、一番上の方に入るような今日のパフォーマンスだったんでしょうか？
そうです、トータルで見たらそうなのかなとは思うんですけど、それでも7回やっぱり行ってやっぱ2人ランナーを残してアウト取れずに帰ってきてはいるので、そこはやっぱり中継ぎの人たちがしっかり抑えてくれたのがやっぱり試合の運び的にはかなり大きかったですし、チームとしては救われている部分ではあるので、そこを抑えきれれば完璧だったのかなと思ってます。
We're going to do two more, and then third row in the middle, and then we'll finish up in the front.
お願いします。ちょっとシリーズ苦しい部分もありましたけども、今日活躍してこうやって MVP もらったっていうのは、今までもシリーズの MVP 取った経験ございますけども、この短期決戦で MVP をいろんな活躍した選手がいる中で取れた実感というのはいかがでしょうか？
本当に巡り合わせなのかなとは思ってますし、たまたま今日みたいな試合がここに来てくれて、僕が取りましたけど、もらいましたけど、本当にここに来るまでの3試合がやっぱり一番大きかったなと思いますし、リーチがかかった状態で4戦目を迎えてしっかり決めれたっていうのは良かったことではありますけど、そこまでの3連戦も含めて本当に全員がいい仕事ができて勝ち取った4戦だったのかなと思ってます。
And up in the front on the right side.
以前打てる時には構えだったり打席に入る前に打てる気がするというふうにおっしゃったと思うんですけれども、今日の3本っていうのはそういうふうに打てたのか、打席をちょっと振り返っていただけますか？
今日は見え方は良かったと思いますね。練習でやっていたことをしっかりと昨日の試合を含めて今日また試合に入った時に打てそうな感じで打席の中で立ててはいたので、またこれを継続できるかどうかがやっぱり一番難しいし大事なことではあるので、さっき言いましたけど、実戦が空く中でそれをどうキープするかっていうのがまた難しいのかなと思ってます。
Okay, thank you, Shohei. We'll see you at the World Series. And that concludes